Hi, I'm Hope and I'm going to do a tutorial on mixing epoxy to put on a tumbler. I'm doing this because there don't seem to be enough tutorials out there for everyone. So, here we go. I'm not going to promise everyone that I'm not going to say a few dirty words. I will promise you that I'm going to try not to say as many as I ordinarily would. I tend to be a little passionate. But we'll all kind of get used to this together. Here we go. I'm using Pro Marine tabletop epoxy. And you got to mix them equal parts. Equal part A to equal part B. I eyeball it. I see other people weigh it. This is just what I do. I haven't had any problems. I do mark my bottles though, with this purple paint, because I have been known to put the wrong lid on the wrong bottle. So that's a tip. You don't want to epoxy your lid onto the bottle. Alright, equal parts A and B. Oh, you guys can't even see, can you? Nice. All right. How about now? A little better. Okay. This is equal parts A and B. You didn't get to see me pour them, but I did. Here's a helpful hint. When I scrape my thing, I do it into the inside rim. Because if I do it on the outside rim, the stuff drips everywhere when I set these little cups down. Get a new stick and scrape everything that was left in the other one. I'm just going to use that stick to stir. And I was using Amazing Clear Cast, but the Amazing Clear Cast, I hardly had any bubbles and I could stir it like a cake mix. You didn't have to be as easy. But this stuff you have to be a little easier. But you can't beat the price. And other than the bubbles, and we get the bubbles out with heat, what I do is after I get it mixed and it runs clear, I usually go run some hot water in a little bowl and I'll set it in the hot water and you'll see all the little tiny bubbles come to the top, and then I just take my heat gun and get the little bubbles out, and then when you put it on your cups you run the heat gun across just to make sure you get all the bubbles. I scrape the edges and the bottom, but I don't lift out of the cup very often, because every time you lift the epoxy up and break that barrier, that little seal there, and go back down, you're just adding more bubbles in there. So I kind of keep the stick submerged in the epoxy. I don't spend a whole lot of time lifting, but I scrape the edges well. Scrape the bottom back and forth. I've never had a problem with my epoxy not being mixed properly. But slow and steady wins the race. That's what we've always heard, huh? know, there's already glitter in it. Go figure. That's never happened before. Man, I got glitter in everything around here. I'm working in a tiny little laundry room that I throw poster boards up over the machines and the utility sink just so that I can get this stuff done. I made my household schedule their laundry days so that I don't have epoxy spinning at the time they need to do things. We gotta do what we gotta do, right, y'all? Alright, now it's clear. What I'm gonna do is go get some warm water, and hopefully I have gloves left, because before I started mixing I forgot that I needed gloves. Oh no, I have one glove, and I stuffed this one on a football so a cup would fit the other day. And I'll just use that. Maybe if my fingernails don't rip the daggum thing. There we go. Alright guys, I don't know how to pause a video and restart it and all that happy stuff, so I promise I'll be fast. Didn't heat the water in the microwave or anything. My tap runs pretty hot, and it's hot enough to push them bubbles up. So I'll sit there and let them bubbles rise, and I'm going to get that heat done. It takes a minute, so yeah, they're coming up. It takes a minute. I hate that I can't pause this for you guys. I'm gonna learn more as I go, I'm sure, but I just know that I sit and search tutorials all night, every night, trying to learn new things, and it seems like I get the same ones over and over. With that being said, we need some new faces doing tutorials, man, so here I am. Well, new hands. I'm not quite comfortable with my old grandma face yet, but we'll get there maybe. This is usually when I mess around and do other things for just a minute. But that's looking pretty clear. But I have, through tutorials, other tutorials, learned that if you wait just a little bit and kind of let the epoxy set up a little, or just sit for a little while, it spreads a little better. It seems to cover the glitter better. Maybe it's thicker. I don't know what it does. I don't know the science behind it. I just know that this is what I do to get the results that I want. So, or the results that's worked for me anyway. Play some music, but I heard they frown on that, but I'm usually in here with the music jamming. Alright, I can't wait anymore. We're just going to do this. Don't want to rip my last pair of gloves. But I have to get a tutorial going on this cup. This white cup that you see. Well, hang on. This white cup that you see is going to be a tattoo cup, and I posted in a Facebook group that I really enjoy, and everybody was very astounded that I managed to paint the cup. And to me, it didn't seem like such a surprise. It was just something I thought I could do, so I tried it and it worked. And I didn't even fail once. I mean, it was pretty easy. So I'm going to try to do a tutorial for that. And this is what I'm going to put on there. And then I'll paint it with alcohol inks. So if you want to see that, I'm not sure how to follow it, but maybe follow the channel and subscribe. This is going to be the first YouTube video I've ever posted. So if you want to see that happen, just subscribe, and when it comes out, you'll get it. Now, like I said, this is my first video, and if you're like me, excuse me, I've subscribed to all these channels, but a lot of these ladies that I've subscribed to, they're not even making new videos anymore. So if you subscribe to my channel, then I can guarantee you I'm making new videos, because this is the first video. So everything beyond here is going to be, you'll get a notification every time I put something in there. Alright, let's hit this with the heat gun real fast. I gotta come over here where you can't see because my cord's too short. And, oh look, that's beautiful. The year. This is why I like that marine epoxy. And I have to say, you're supposed to wear the chemical mask and keep the gloves on. And I haven't had a reaction to this epoxy. If I start noticing things, then, you know, I'll put a mask on. Hopefully it won't be too late at that point. But at this point, it's hot in this tiny little laundry room. And 90% of the time, the dryer's rolling as well. So I am not sick of that mask on my face. I'm a Floridian. And less clothes, less everything is better around here, man. Especially less masks. Except outside, I wear my mask outside like I'm supposed to do. And look, I haven't been doing this for very long. And I just know what I've learned from other people from watching tutorials on YouTube. I mean, I searched and watched them for about a week. And then when my husband was sleeping, I took all the credit cards and I ordered turners and a Cricut machine and all that happy stuff. And I just jumped in with both feet because, you know, that's what I do. And I've done fairly well, man. I love it. More than anything, I go to bed thinking about cups. I wake up thinking about cups. I'm on YouTube every single chance I get. I'm hunting more tutorials, but they're just not there. And so I'm on Facebook now, and I'm trying to get in as many groups as I can and hunt the tutorials there. So why not do tutorials? Everybody says I do a good job. I guess if you don't think I do a good job, you can always click to the next video, eh? And I was having a problem with epoxy being inside my cups a lot, but I watched someone, I don't even remember who it was now, but it was titled Perfect Rim, and that's all they do is just go to the rim and like scrape your glove like this on the edge of the rim, and it puts the epoxy on this side and it keeps it clean on that side. I don't understand, but I don't have to razor as many cups anymore or Exacto, and I gotta keep these edges. The edges are so important. Alright, and you know, of course I'm going to do something wrong, and what I've done wrong was start with the blue glitter before I need to do the white glitter. And of course I only have one pair of gloves because I didn't get gloves. Yay. Okay, no more blue glitter. This is the first coat, and I don't usually go so crazy, and maybe I should. I mean, if you know something I don't know and you're watching this, just tell me. But I don't go crazy about the fish eyes and the blah, 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 because there's going to be more coats going over this. And Well, that last coat seals up anything you screw up in the first couple coats most of the time, at least in my own experience. But just massage it in. I see now my favorite is actually Chauvin, Ashley Chauvin. She is one of my favorite teachers, and she says massage the cup, so I try to do that too. Especially over the decal, you want to get every little cranny so that you don't have empty spaces. Okay. No blue glitter yet. Now, there isn't white freaking hair in that though. But I can cover that with a black line on that tattoo. Who cares, right? This one's saturated in that glitter, so it's going to soak this up like lotion. One of these is metal, and this white one I'm working on is actually plastic. And they're both Starbucks cups. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but it don't bother me like it should. This white one is a plastic cup. That's why every time I touch it, it's moving this churner all around. It has no weight to hold it still. But it's double walled. Like I said, Starbucks. Most of you are probably familiar. It's just stuff I had in my cabinet. I try to save my metal cups for customers. But I'll just tell you, since I started this, I don't have anything in my cabinet anymore that's not epoxy. I've even got a case of champagne glasses over here that's getting ready to go under the knife. So I'll let that spin and even out a minute, but I'm going to put some more on that. I want that to be nice and thick because of all that glitter, because I want to try to get that tattoo on there tonight. It's going to need some time. Whoa, Bob. So like I said, I'm doing this tattoo on this cup tonight. And I'm going to color it and I'm going to paint it as soon as it goes on. I don't seal it or anything. I mean, I didn't think that through. Everybody asked me, did you seal it first when I posted the picture in my group? But, well, it's not my group, in the group that I'm in. And everyone said, did you seal it? Did you seal it? No, I didn't even think to seal it, man. I had an idea. It was 6:30 in the morning and I rolled with it. I just put the tattoo on there, took a rag and kind of wiped it off. I didn't even really make sure it was that dry. And just started dabbing the alcohol inks in. Now, I had worked with alcohol inks before, so I knew it was going to run. So I just used a little tiny dry brush, and I get stuff on my brush and dab my brush wherever I could dab it. Made sure it was almost half dry before I put it on the cup with the color, because the alcohol, as soon as it hits that epoxy, it's gonna run. So you gotta work quick. Even if the epoxy's dry, it runs. It's a drop of liquid on a round surface. That's what's gonna happen. This turner has a tendency of falling off. So I'm going to stay here and babysit this for a minute. But you've seen the basics on how to apply epoxy. I mean, just concentrate on the bottoms. I mean, that's the biggest tip I have for anybody, the edges, the top rim and the bottom, because you're going to pull a cup off after your third coat of epoxy, and it's going to be gorgeous, and every part of it is going to be smooth. But this bottom edge where you have glitter is still going to be rough, and you're going to have to epoxy the whole cup because that bottom edge. So if you just keep it coated nice here, it'll run. And it might drip a little on the bottom. We're all going to drip. Don't panic about some drips. What are you going to do with that drip anyway? Just let it run. But it will even itself out, but it will make a nice fat coat around here so that you don't have to coat it 4 times, because on the 3rd time it could have been done, but this was too bad. Okay, what I'm going to do is take this off. I'm going to hit this with heat because I see bubbles. That's the only thing about the marine epoxy I don't like, is all the bubbles. It'll shoot right off there pretty quick. This is all the length I have. That's it. Let that spin. Yeah, people say 4 to 6 hours. I guess because it's Florida and it's humidity, and the humidity here is ridiculous. Mine usually has to go about 8 hours before I can touch it. And I'm getting paged in the other room, so bye.